How many of y'all want to go to Paris? I want to go to Paris, but I want to go to Paris in this Catfish episode because that's where we're going. Stay tuned and you'll find that out.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AFTERBUZZ TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
It's all right.
It is.
I love the way you lie.
Because they always do.
Because they're always lying.
I can't tell you what it really
They always lie on Catfish. They always lie on Catfish. They always lying on Catfish. Hey, Catfish liars. Yo, it's the Catfish After Show if you haven't heard already or don't even know. And I'm your host, Lem Gonsalves. As always, I'm here and you can find me always on. What happened to our background music? Is gone. I was like still rocking. There it is.
Okay.
There it is. And you can find me on social media at The Poet Saint all day, every day. I got my boy hanging out with me and we're going to talk about this. His name is Jimmy V. Bear. What's up?
Yeah. What's going on, Lem? It's your boy Jimmy V. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, @B, your own dad. I couldn't make it last week. Had to take care of a few things. Hopefully you guys understand, but shout out to everybody that showed love in the comments. Made me feel special, so I had to be back to hold it down for you guys.
For
these liars out
For
here,
these liars,
man.
son, holding it down for the liars.
And the level of pettiness is at an all-time high.
That's the name of this episode, Petty McGretty. That's what it should be called, because there was some petty stuff going on. Nino will join us a little later. He's on his way, and he will just pop in.
You know he's a
when
busy
he gets
man.
Here. You know, I mean, his limo's pulling up as we speak. You know, he's got shades on
with the chauffeur.
Right, exactly. So he might come in here stunning. It might be a little bright. But, you know, that's how he rolls. If my man can put up the live chat so we can talk to the people and see what they think about a night in Paris.
A night in Paris.
A night in Paris. And lying.
Lying, yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Why you always lying? Why you can't stop lying?
What?
Oh, my God.
Oh,
stop
why you
lying.
Oh, the liars.
Please.
Oh, the liars. This is how they get out. So...
Let's get into it.
Let's get into it. So we got Paris.
Yes.
Her name is Paris. She's 25. She lives right outside of Chicago.
Chi-town.
You know, live up. And she met Tara in a chat room. And this is actually a chat room where you can talk, you know, and people can hear your voice and you kind of communicate back and forth. There's a feature actually a lot of people don't know, but you can do it on Instant Messenger or Messenger on Facebook.
I did not know
see?
that.
Oh, see, and I'm the one that's not really technologically sound.
Learning things every day.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you know, you can hear someone's voice, you know, and all that kind of stuff, and kind of back and forth messages.
Yeah.
And so, of course, you know, hey, I want to meet up, get everything going on, and before they could meet up, Tara supposedly had an accident. But you know who didn't have an accident?
You know who didn't?
You know who didn't have an accident?
You know who's in the building?
You know who's in the building?
Allow him to reintroduce himself.
Accident free.
Hey.
It's Nino Llanera.
Nino in the house.
What's up, man?
What's happening, brother?
Man?
Can you guys hear me?
Oh, yeah.
I can hear you
loud and
clear.
clear.
Can you turn
brother.
my mic up a little bit, please?
Yeah, turn your headphones up.
Yes.
Yeah,
What's up, y'all?
yeah. What's up?
Sorry about that, man.
So no, it's all good. It's all good. We understand, you know, celebrity status. You have to, you know, we at your wheel. Like I get it. No, it's okay. I get it. I get it. My man's doing commercials. He just had an audition. He's gonna be in the new Eddie Murphy movie.
Watch out for him.
Should be a publicist.
I mean, you know, I'm proud of my boy. That's
Thanks,
all I'm
man. I
saying. I
appreciate
mean, you
it,
know, you're doing your thing, doing your thug thizzle.
You know, I actually got some news to share.
What?
And I'll be glad to share it with my viewers as well. Watch out for your boy in July. I got a little something.
In July?
Yeah.
Okay, what you're gonna be released from prison or what? What is it going?
You know, I got these shots that I gotta take. No. I can't give you guys all. Just say you might see me an hour a day.
What?
Hour a day.
That's all that I can say
That's
now.
all that you can say.
But,
Hour a day.
You know,
you
I
might see Jimmy V.
definitely fill you guys in as things progress
I'm
more
ready.
and more.
That's dope.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh, I'm with it.
No doubt.
Lovely.
Okay.
All right, so we're getting back into this.
Yes.
As we said before they can meet, Tara had an unfortunate accident, and so that was an excuse of why she basically stopped talking to her.
Yeah.
And then she ended up resurfacing a couple of years later, and Paris actually did something which I still haven't seen really anyone do yet, and I'm saying like it's so easy. She did the image search.
Right.
She did on her own.
I think this is the first time we saw
I think
them
it's
take
the first
control,
time.
people.
At
Take
least
control.
first time this
Search your
particular
images.
season. Yeah, this particular season.
You got to.
Y'all have done it before, right?
How yeah, man, I do
definitely tried
everything.
it.
I don't. Well, I haven't had a need to.
I
so-
did it just to check,
Just to try it.
just for fun,
And it's
just to
easy,
see,
right?
Oh, it's super easy. Drag and go.
Right. I mean, that's what
Yeah.
I figured. I
Yeah.
didn't think it was anything special. You don't need to.
I mean,
you know,
that's-
passcode or something.
Shouts to Google for keeping us safe.
Safe from the liars. Why
the
you
catfishes out
always
there.
no, anyway. All right, so they go down there, of course, and they
Sorry,
live chat.
Rosie Bloom. Thank you very
Live
much.
chat is
Said
in the
that
building.
just
What's
was mad.
going
I
on?
appreciate y'all.
Oh man, it goes down. I'm telling you, man. Celebrity
down.
status.
It goes down.
All right, so they go meet Paris down in Chi-Town. They actually, we didn't mention, is when she does the image search, a different image name comes up by the name of Dana, which is important because we're going to talk about it in a minute. So they go meet Paris down there, and, you know, she again tells a story that she told on Skype, saying that, you know, she told things to Tara that she hasn't told people before. She's close with her. And she actually started going down her list of things that she's also done on the chat. And we find out that she's dated 2 other women on there.
Right.
And actually dated, like, you know, actually met up,
Right.
went on actual, you know,
Real. Yeah.
date, not just online, like actually met up. And one of them was Nicole, said they dated, but she didn't like the fact that Paris was bisexual. So that didn't last very well, kind of ended on a sour note. Met another girl named Mary, which of course is going to be important in this episode.
Very important.
They started dating, and Mary actually moved to Chicago from Mississippi and came with her mom and her 5-year-old child.
That's a lot.
Yo, so
Is it a lot?
let me tell you this. Let
Not
me
to
tell
say
you
that's
this.
baggage, but dang.
Yeah. I mean, that's
I was
little
gonna
bit-
say baggage, but I
a
don't
little
know.
bit of luggage. It's a little bit of luggage. But would you, not knowing somebody for a long time, decide to move not only to be with them, but also move your parents and your child?
How to the no. How to the no. What? How to the no. You
That's
crazy.
a lot.
Especially when a child is involved, you got another person's life at stake
Right.
at the same time. You don't know this person. You don't know where you're going. So it's a matter of what the hell are you doing? But just gotta make better decisions out here. Excuse me.
Yeah, there's levels to this stuff, right?
Yes.
Khaled says it all the time. It's true, folks. There's levels to it. You have to give a certain trust in in a situation where it's that point in time. You can't just uproot, especially children and your loved ones or whatnot, just for your sake or whatnot. Even if you think it's better, you really have to plan it out and figure out if it's just the right move, because there's going to be a lot of repercussions. If not, just pre move,
Right.
Like how much is it going to take or whatnot. There's just a lot going on. That's why a lot of people, like they say when they have kids or whatnot, it's like their lives are over because they feel like their lives are over because they're tied to something. But no, you can do things, but there's a lot of thinking involved.
Well, you're not just
know what I
thinking
mean?
about yourself. You're thinking about the
Exactly.
other people involved. In this case, she, obviously she cared about Paris, but to move, and I think the big story, and of course there's 2 sides of the story, and we'll get into it in a second. But the big thing was, Paris says she thought that she was planned, meaning like, I got a situation where I can stay, I got somewhere I can stay, I got something lined up as far as like I'll be able to live out here. So of course, if you're presenting it like that, then of course, come down. Yeah, absolutely. I want to be with you. Yeah. It'd be dope if we were in the same city. Absolutely. But the way Paris explained it is, Mary came down with her family and was like, I'm here and I need to stay with you.
Right.
And so that's why it ended up turning sour again on Paris's, side of things, because she wasn't prepared.
Too much.
Yeah, it was too much.
It was too much.
Which, again, if I'm dating somebody
Right.
and they say they want to move down
Right.
close to where I am, absolutely. But then you say, like, at my doorstep, all my stuff's here, where am I sleep at? And I'm like, no, excuse me. You're going to sleep somewhere else. Because that wasn't the plan. That's not
Right.
what we discussed. So, I get it.
5 boxes and 2 people.
Right. Crazy. So, Mary also was the proponent of shade throwing. You know, she was throwing some shade because she actually, right, a lot of shade. She ended up messaging Tara, who you know, who Paris was talking to, and said, you know, basically that, you know, don't talk to her. She's this and that, because she was a scorned person. You know, it ended on a bad note. And Nicole got upset, you know, because Paris met a guy in massage school. That's why they ended. And so
Massage school, though, right?
right. So when they were thinking of how everything was going down, they were thinking, Nev and Max was thinking, well, it could be Nicole catfishing you, or it could be Mary, because these are two people that you were in a relationship with, that you dated, that ended sourly. Yeah. So now it's like, let's get an investigation. Let's find this out. So they end up talking about it, and Max and Nev start their research, and they message Dana. And that's the one from the picture. They also check numbers, don't really get anything. They message Nicole as well as Mary. So they're just trying to get information, as they normally do. Dana, who was the one in the picture, she hits Nev and Max on video chat. She said she doesn't know anything about the situation.
Right.
Yeah.
So they immediately this is kind of weird.
Yeah,
I was like, I would be weirded out.
Oh, me?
Are you what?
My pictures?
Get out of here. Does that really happen?
I don't know. I don't know.
Crazy. My Twitter is, you know.
Well, since
Let me plug
right, exactly. So, hey, you know, I'm not mad. So Mary then calls Nev and Max back. Now, this is Mary, right? This is the scorn lover that moved with all the luggage and the baggage, right? And they're talking to her, and she says that it was the worst relationship. The worst
block number. She calls from the block number.
Right.
I was like, you better answer
not trying to be
that.
tracked.
Of course they were going to answer. They were going to be like, because they don't give that number out to everybody.
Right.
So it's got to be somebody they're trying to get a hold of. So, but it was interesting that it was a block number. She says the worst relationship she had been in, and that Paris was no angel.
Right.
So,
she tells it all.
Exactly. She's saying basically, yo, you may think you got somebody that's innocent, but trust me, she's not.
Right.
And she actually admitted to them that she did message Tara. So Mary's saying that, yeah, I messaged her to warn her. And she also dropped another bombshell and said that Paris was catfishing people herself.
Right.
She was catfishing. So at that point, now you got to think like, okay, who's really lying?
Right.
Yep.
Or who's telling the truth?
There's so much going on.
Right. It's
You
very,
got a
very convoluted.
Catfishy who was the catfisher.
Right.
You know what I mean?
There's a lot of catfish in this barrel.
I gotta say though, you're really good with these names.
Yeah.
Like for real. On point with these names today.
I try.
Perfect.
I try. You know,
So
I try.
there are a lot of names in this episode.
There
Let's
is
be
a lot
real.
of names. There's a lot of names.
I'm just trying to follow along.
Me too. Me too.
Yeah.
Right. All right. So someone says, I was so confused as to why they didn't realize it was Mary. Well, we're going to get into that. Because it was a different voice.
Right.
Oh, they were using other tactics. So I love Max in this because I feel like last episode he kind of didn't really do his Max thing, right? He was a little more gentle, but he was back to Max in this episode. And they get over and they talk to Paris, and you know they're like, so how's everything? You know, Neva's like, so we found. Max is like, would you like to tell us anything?
If there's anything you would like to say,
Anything you want to say?
Like straight interrogation right from the beginning. Like,
oh,
I don't have time for this. You're gonna tell me the truth right now.
Yeah.
Exactly.
No, he's like, is there anything I'm giving? And basically he gives her an out. Like, if you want to say something, now's the time.
Yeah.
Because we know.
You won't get in trouble too much.
Right. We know. Just let us know. So she's like, no, I told you everything. I mean, you know, I don't know what you're talking about. So she then, they, you know, of course, come clean and they say, well, we talked to Mary. She gave us a lot of information. She told us this. She told us this. She told us this. So she's like, oh, well, yeah, back in 92, you know, and then she starts talking about, she admits that she was catfishing people. She said she was young.
She's at 16.
At 16, she said she was young, you know. And
Did she
like
disclose
a
a number on how many? Or was it just
Two.
the thing she was doing? Two, right?
I believe she
was
said
it two?
I
I didn't
heard two,
remember
yeah.
hearing
I
the
think I
number,
heard
but
two,
two. And so, because they actually showed, you know, on there, the people that she did catfish. And she said she was sorry. She said she was remorseful.
Right.
You know, all of this is going on. And so they end up calling Tara, and she admits, oh, sorry, I'm on the wrong thing. She admits that she's not her in the picture, right? So now they're talking to Tara. This is the person you're trying to find out, because we got all these people going on. We got Mary, we got Nicole, we got Tara, who's the person that's being talked to.
Right.
We already kind of out what is the term? We canceled out Dana, so Dana's not in the picture anymore, so she's out. But we still got all of this going on, right? So when they call Tara, she's like, "Yeah, it's not me in the picture." And she says it like right away, unless it's editing. She was immediately like, "Oh, it's not me in the picture."
She did.
Hello, how you doing? Not me in the picture.
Yeah,
like,
no, it's not me.
It's not me in the picture. Like, it was super fast, like super fast. So she then says, "I want to meet her." But I'm afraid that she won't accept me for who I really am.
Right.
So,
Dun, dun, dun.
of course, at that point, and I feel like in most of these cases, the majority of these cases, the catfish person is nervous because they already know that they're not the person in the picture. Of
course, yeah.
So, but to me, I took it as, because of the way she said it, I took it as this is somebody that she is familiar with.
Like that she knows?
That she knows or
okay.
has some familiar. I didn't think it was Mary,
right?
But I was like, something is up. Like, she has to be familiar with her.
Yeah.
And that's the reason why. Not so much how she looks, but who she is.
Right.
Did you guys get it?
I didn't get that vibe right away. But now that I think about it, you're right. Like, kind of like how she was speaking, how she kind of just like, it's not me. You know what I mean? Where it's like she wanted to get something off her chest, but didn't get it off completely. Or couldn't keep it 100 right away.
Right.
I never really thought about it that way, but you're right. Now that I kind of rewind in my head the situation, that's right. It could be somebody that somebody she used to know.
Right. Somebody that I used to know. So they end up going to, and then she admits that she's in Syracuse and not Chicago. So they're like, all right, well, we're going to go.
We got to go.
Before that, it was interesting because, and this is another reason why I was like suspicious of who it was, because right after they talked to her, she starts sending a text and she's like, tell me, then this is to Paris. She's like, tell me you love me. Tell me that you love me. Tell me right now. Like, it was right after. And she's like, yo, I'm getting these text messages. And she was like very forceful with it. Yeah. Almost to the tune like what is something is up that she's hiding, and it's much more than the whole picture situation. Right. It's got to be something else. So they go down to New York and they end up going to the house. They go to the front door. Someone comes to the door. Is like, can you go around back? Because my neighbors knows it. Right?
I don't want nobody to know.
Right.
Her backyard is open. Okay.
My thing is like the backyard the house is on this side too. Like, you're just different neighbors. Like,
I feel like that kind of house isn't like the houses here in LA when we have gates or whatnot. It's just open. They have open fields. There's more room, so they just come around. Your neighbor can go to the back of their house and just watch from there.
Like, stop playing.
Get out of here.
Stop playing. She was doing too much.
Right.
So, person comes outside and she's like, hello. And then immediately we see Paris look at her. She's like, this chick right
Come on, son.
This chick right
Instant.
Right. And then the person
We've
comes
seen
out.
that so many times.
So many times. And lo and behold, it is actually Mary.
Look who it is.
The scorned
ex.
lover,
Mary.
right?
Mary.
With the kids and the mom and the baggage, right? Tons and tons of baggage, right? So she comes out, and of course, now Mary's upset because, of course she's caught, but also she's still upset at the previous relationship. And then you have now Paris is upset because it's like, yo, this is Mary.
Right.
Like, what are you doing? Yeah. And so they ask, so what was your motive? Why did you do this? And what did she say?
Sweet revenge.
Revenge.
That is it.
That's it.
Like there was. This is why I don't understand why she texts back say, "Tell me you love me. Tell you love me." If you were only doing this just to spite the situation, why do you even care? If she says she loves you. You know what I mean? Like, if you were just here to be spiteful, you're not telling the truth. Still, there's something else hidden. You know what I mean?
This is the thing. I believe, and it was interesting too, like how the whole situation came up, because they asked her twice. Now we do find out also that the person that Nev and Max were talking to was actually her wife, because they were like, yo, is there a different voice? She's like, who was that? Was that your wife? She's like, yeah, that was my wife. So now you got the wife involved, right?
Yeah.
In this petty situation.
Right.
And the way I believe it is, I believe that Mary still has feelings. For Paris, most definitely. Regardless of being married. Yeah. And it's just interesting to find out that she's married, but then, okay, I'll say it like this, and you guys can chime in. If I was married, right, and my spouse was like, hey, I want you to help me get back in an ex from like 2 years ago, and I want you to pretend to do this and do that, and da-da-da-da. I would be like, no.
Why would you? Why do you care?
What do you care? You're with me now.
Amen.
Why put in the effort
Can I get a
and
hallelujah?
time?
Hallelujah.
Can I get a hallelujah?
That should have been the giantest red flag ever.
Right.
Seriously.
I mean, it didn't make any sense. And I'm like, who are you? What kind of
Right.
spouse are you to agree to that?
Right.
Because to me, it's like that is a terrible relationship that you are in, that you are willing to do something as petty as that for an ex-lover.
That is toxic written all over it.
Exactly.
Listen,
Seriously.
I understand ride or die. I got your back, you got mine. But obviously, this situation was only benefiting her for her own personal petty reasons. PPR, all right. Personal petty reasons there, okay?
Hashtag PPR. That's how it goes down.
And it's just a shame that the partner actually agreed.
Right.
No, it to me, this is the thing for me, because also it was interesting, like, are you happy in your relationship? And again, the wife said it because the wife's pretending to be married. It's like, oh yeah, I'm very happy. And she says it again, oh yeah, I'm happy in my relationship. Again,
Selling a false dream.
red flag, white lie. There's red and white all over the place. Right? And the whole thing is because
Divorce alert. I'm sorry.
the whole thing is because I don't believe she is happy. I think she got married because it appeased her and it was able to get away from the situation. You jump out of one, oh, I'm scoring, you meet somebody, oh, and they do you right or whatever. But the whole thing is, if you still care about that person, the marriage, isn't really that relevant. And the thing is, if it was relevant and she was truly happy, you wouldn't care about what's going on over
Definitely. Ride or die, she will die and then she will hop back to Paris. Like that's basically it. Like like you said, red flags all over the place. Like if somebody were to come up to me, anybody, in a relationship and want me to get back at their ex, just like, wouldn't you step back and be like, well, what about why do you care? What about my feelings? Why would I want to help you in the situation? That's drama that I did. More baggage that comes along with marriage.
It's just like I said, the whole situation is terrible. I believe the marriage, and we didn't really get we got a recap with her, which we'll say in a mention in a second. But I still think no matter what the situation, if she was truly happy, she wouldn't have done what she did.
She wouldn't have
Even
done.
if she had the malice in her heart to be like, I want to get back at her, I want her to feel some pain, which people have done on this show. But to get a spouse involved that you're supposed to be happy with, that's the part where I feel like it crosses the line.
Probably one of those things where she's like, I could still talk to Paris, and my wife knows, so I can't be really, really in trouble. You know what I mean?
And pretend to be somebody else.
Exactly.
And say things that you really feel.
Right, exactly. You're getting your emotions across to who you want to get them across to.
Right.
And you're not being caught because you're telling the truth in some sense. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
But you're still a little snake.
And because
still
remember,
in
there
the
was a
grass.
break of 2 years.
Right.
So she probably was cool that 2 years, and then I want to talk to Paris again.
Right.
And then now, oh, hey, I'm going to talk to her, but I'm going to get her back, and I'm going to da-da-da-da. Like, you do things that you're fooling yourself.
Yes.
You'll say things, and you'll be like, yeah, I'm just doing this because I don't really trip off of that. I don't
It's
really
like
care
saying,
about that.
I'm not mad.
Yeah.
No, I'm not mad. But you're talking about it,
Right,
so
exactly.
you must be mad.
Obviously mad.
Yeah.
You're
Extremely
feeling some
mad.
type of way.
Yeah. Anyway, so we do see that they do go back and they talk to her, and she kind of just talks a little bit about the same thing. Nino, what does she talk about?
Oh,
We talk about Mary when they go back and talk to Mary.
So when they go back and talk to Mary, Mary was like, I listen, I felt really, really hurt with Paris.
Right.
She basically felt like super, super hurt with the situation, and she just wanted to basically get her back. That was it. She understood that, yes, she came with the baggage, and there were situations, Paris was in school. The things weren't necessarily aligned all the way.
Right.
Yeah.
But she still, nonetheless, even though she realized that there was a problem and there was an issue and the communication wasn't all that great, that she still blames 100% on everything on Paris. Makes no sense.
Right.
Well, if you know that it's not all Paris's fault, you know what I mean? And then there may have been situations where it could have been your situation that you need to own up to it. You know what I mean?
Right.
You can't blame it all on her. It's like you're running away from the problem. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Even though
Talk
it's
to
head
him.
on.
No, absolutely. Preach. Rosie Blooms
my man, Nino.
says Mary was acting like Kanye the way he always tweets about Amber.
That's actually funny.
Ah.
That's actually funny.
Ooh, Kim, you better watch out.
That's actually funny.
Oh, the
You know what I mean?
triangle.
And Black China's infiltrating
I'm just saying.
man.
best friends.
Yeah.
A lot of times you miss what you don't have.
Right.
You know? I believe that she was definitely upset. I mean, otherwise, why do it? But I think she really cared about her. And when it all went south, she became very, very angry, and that was her way of getting back. As trivial as it was.
And once again, I think it was a front. You know, when she was I just was really spiteful for her. That's all it was. Blah blah blah. No, in reality, you really care. That's why. You know what I mean?
Because you don't go through those things if you don't care.
Don't put in all that effort and time.
If I don't care about somebody,
I'm not gonna talk about it.
Exactly. It's furthest from my mind.
Right. When parents was like, "How'd you do all this?" She's like, "Well, there's apps to this thing."
Right.
I'm just like, "Dang, okay."
Come on,
She
son.
got jokes.
Come on, son. Yeah, no,
You're
I
not
really
fooling
do.
us.
You're not fooling
The
anybody.
catfish panel, you're not fooling us.
You ain't fooling catfish
Nobody.
panel. You ain't fooling anybody in the live chat.
Not
You
the
ain't-
viewers at home. No, I got y'all.
We all know what's up. We all know what's up. So,
Why are we so angry though?
like it happened to us.
I mean, because
lady,
we've seen this time and
fist
time again, though. So
Right.
you know, and we always learn there's always something underneath it all
Underbelly,
that they're always
correct.
doing
Underlying
it for. So
beneath,
Again,
that's why I said this
says-
is a depressing ass show. Excuse my language.
Yeah, there's levels to this stuff.
Levels to this.
I wish we could go like now and Fee with Mary and her supposed. I mean, she's obviously married, but just how that relationship is going.
Spouse.
I hate to say supposed because it's just whatever, but
Right.
how they're really doing. Because really, I don't think she is really into the marriage like the other person is, and I think the other person does care about Mary, and that's why they probably are willing to do it. And it's like, okay, whatever you want, and she's tricking or whatever. So I think they were, again, there was manipulation on both ends. I do think that, just to summarize, I think that Paris wasn't as innocent as she put off, because she could have said some of those things earlier that were found out and she kind of admitted to. But of course, Mary definitely doing all of that, it just didn't make any sense. But she's not over.
Mary got the felony and Paris got the misdemeanor. That's how it was.
Rosie Bloom says, "Yeah, I said it. Shots fired at Kanye." Bang, bang. Ladies
How
and gentlemen.
awkward is it going to be for that kid at school, though, on Monday?
Oh,
Like, oh man, we
So
saw
he
your
must
mom
be
on
like 7 or 8, right?
Oh man.
At this time?
because what he was
He was 5 a
when,
couple of years back.
right.
Yeah, let's just
Keep
hope.
your kids away from TV. That's
Yeah,
all.
hopefully they didn't watch the show.
Right.
Because otherwise, that would be like, hey, I saw your mommy and she's crazy. She's crazy. Yeah, I mean, I think anybody involved, or the mom, her mom, because I don't know if it sounded like her mom was still living with her, maybe. In that house, because you figure she's married,
Right.
But if she traveled with her mom and her child before,
She's doing it still.
I'm still thinking they're all
Which is really
together.
nice of her, by the way. Which is great of her.
To have with her mom with her.
Yeah, I mean, to take care of her mom. I'm just saying.
Okay.
I'm trying to give her
I
some
think her
saving
mom's
grace
taken
here.
care of.
I'm just like, I think this is the other way
Just a
around.
little bit,
Yeah,
but you know what I mean?
I don't know. Bottom line is, that's another episode of Catfish.
Right.
That's it.
Another one in the bag.
Right.
So we'll see what happens next week. But I will say, just to finalize, I think that it's interesting the way that they are going about different levels of catfishing and how people and the stories and how they're developing. And this was just another, layer of that.
Right.
So it'll be interesting to see what happens next episode.
Right.
Yeah.
I actually did want to make a special shout out to one of our viewers all the way from Switzerland.
What?
Switzerland.
He reached out to us on
Cassio
the
Black.
Twitter.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
That's right. And he gave us a updated story on one of the Catfish
Yes.
episodes.
Yes,
On,
rest in
unfortunately, the episode, the person passed away.
Right.
Rest in peace. But that's just an example of how you can always continue the conversation. And of course, we always like to talk back, of course. So
Absolutely,
That's just a great example. So shout out to you all the way from Switzerland. You
yeah,
got
yeah.
yourself a follow back.
You know it. There it is. Ladies and gentlemen, that has been our episode. We want to thank you so much for tuning in. Everybody on the live chat, thank you so much for your commenting. Please keep doing it.
Yeah.
Make sure you use the hashtag. I can never say that.
The
word.
hashtag.
The hashtag. Is that accessory? It's an accessory.
It's a catfish accessory.
Hashtag ABTV.
Oh, there you go.
Catfish.
Hashtag.
There it is. Hashtag. I'm Lem Gonsalves. You can find me always at the Poet Saint all day, every day. Jimmy, where you at, boy?
See me and Jimmy V, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook at Be Your Own Dad. Stay up to date. BeYourOwnDad.blogspot.com. Show some love.
And once again, guys, actually, first time for this episode, it's your boy Nino. You can catch me at Nino Llanera on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook and Snapchat. Follow me on Snap if you want to know why I was late.
Hey.
Because he's a celebrity. No. That's
Because
why
he
was
puts
late.
in that work over here.
Limos sometimes don't drive as fast as other cars. That's all I'm saying. We'll see y'all next week.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.